Hi, it's Sarah here. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day today. We're going to be doing a talk on the illusion of guilt and shame today. So every emotion has a vibrational frequency. Emotions such as joy, bliss, gratitude, they're right at the top. And you might think right at the bottom is going to be something like hatred or loathing or disgust, but actually it's shame. And the one above it is guilt. And that is because these two emotions are incredibly toxic to your physical health, to your mental and emotional well-being, and to your ascension, to your spiritual well-being too. So on a physical level, you might find that life's a struggle. You might find that you are always taking the hard path. You might find that you deny yourself pleasure. You might find that your body has lots of health problems that make life difficult for yourself. Say, for example, you might have lots of food allergies, which are making life difficult, but also you're denying yourself life's pleasures too. On a mental level, you might find yourself always criticizing yourself or judging yourself or being mean to yourself, being really hard on yourself, putting yourself down. On an emotional level, you might have a lot of unforgiveness feelings towards yourself. You might feel a lot of unworthiness or a lot of undeserving. Or you might have a lot of fear and anxiety about guilt and shame. And we're going to talk a wee bit about that in a minute. On a spiritual level, having the emotions such as guilt and shame, it's like putting your ascension behind bars. So your ascension is an expansion of your consciousness and awareness. And so if you're feeling guilty or ashamed, you actually literally punish yourself by putting your ascension, by putting your expansion in a box or behind energetic bars. You can't see they're there, but it will really slow down your ascension path. So these two emotions are really damaging, and it's a really good idea if you have these emotions to help free yourself of these. And we're going to be talking a wee bit more about that at the end. So basically living with these emotions is like living with shackles on. You know, they're going to slow you down in every which way possible. So be kind to yourself. You know, if you have these emotions, you might be feeling not worthy enough or not deserving enough to release these. You might not have enough self-love to release them, but please be kind to yourself, because keeping yourself stuck and keeping yourself small, it's not only not helping you, but we all share what's called a collective consciousness. And what one experiences, we all experience on some level. So by punishing yourself, you're kind of punishing the whole collective. And the world needs everybody to be happy and to be seen and to be brave. So keeping yourself stuck and punishing yourself is actually not helping everybody else as well. So, you know, if you don't feel worthy and deserving enough of doing it for yourself, maybe use this as an excuse, okay? You want to do it to help the whole of humanity. So where did your guilt and shame start from? Now maybe it started as an event, you know, something you did or something you went through, but often it starts off as a belief that you take on as a child. Now we create most of our beliefs before the age of 7, but we don't have enough life experience before the age of 7 to jump to the right conclusions. So say, for example, your parents were stressed out about money, or they're really busy with work and don't pay you much attention. You know, at the age of 3, what are you going to think? You're not going to think, oh, mum and dad are busy, so they haven't got time for me, or they're stressed out about money. No, you are going to jump to the conclusion, it must be something I've done something wrong, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable as I am. Okay, you're gonna take on these really harmful beliefs. Then what happens is we store our beliefs in our subconscious mind, and a lot of them are dormant until something triggers them, but some of them, such as I'm not enough or I'm not lovable, those kind of beliefs, they play over and over again as mind tapes. You can't hear them consciously, fortunately, because you go pretty insane very quickly. You know, imagine hearing 100 voices talking to you all the time. It's something you couldn't cope with. So we can't hear these mind tapes, but what hears them is our body. Now you can think of your body as a continuation of your subconscious mind in a way. Your subconscious mind is like a computer. It believes everything that you program it with. It can't tell the difference between what's true or not. Our body is exactly the same. So our body is hearing these limiting beliefs. I'm not enough. I'm not lovable. I must have done something wrong. Those kind of beliefs. And your body believes them to be true. Now our body has an innate fear of rejection and that means it's something we're kind of born with, because if we are rejected as a baby or as a young child, it means that the body's going to die. We can't look after ourselves, can we? So if we are rejected or abandoned as a young child, we die. And so our body has this innate fear of being rejected or abandoned. What happens then is your body produces these feelings of fear. Now sometimes you can feel them. You know, you might feel like your heart racing, you might feel panicked, you might feel anxious all the time. Sometimes it's just going on in the background on a really low grade level, so you're not aware of it because it's something that you live with all the time. And when we live with something all the time, we get used to it, so we don't know it's there. But what's picking up on it is our ego, which is our personality self. We have a part of our ego called our id, and our id is responsible for our safety. So it has to do with our eating and drinking and procreation, that kind of thing. So your id picks up on your body's fear and it perceives a threat. It thinks you are under attack. So your ego wants to keep you safe. So your ego will create a whole load of emotions to try and keep you small, to try and keep you hidden, to keep you stuck so you're not out there being seen by the world. So it thinks it's the best way to keep you safe. So your ego might create these feelings of guilt, of shame, of unworthiness, of undeserving, of fear, panic, anxiety, etc., etc. It has a myriad of emotions it can produce. Okay, so these emotions we then feel from our ego. We feel this guilt and shame and unworthiness and undeserving, this fear and panic, etc. And we buy into these and we believe they're coming from us and we believe they're true. But they're not. They're actually being created by our ego. They're a construct of our ego mind. Okay? They're not actually real. They're just an illusion. But we're feeling them, so we think they're true. You might find yourself overreacting to situations as a bid to keep you safe. It's like you get hijacked. You might be minding your own business and something very small happens and all of a sudden you're blowing up with anger or resentment. And this is a self-defense mechanism to try and keep you safe. You know, you're pushing people away. You know, as an empath, we can also take on other people's guilt and shame. We can take on other people's physical problems, their karmic energy. We will talk about karma at the end. There's no such thing as karma, literally, but we can take on other people's stuff. So sometimes we can take on other people's guilt and shame and think they're ours. Now we think we have free will and we are in control of our lives. But 95% of what you are experiencing, you are creating from your subconscious mind based on your belief system. You are literally only creating consciously 5% of what you are experiencing. So imagine if you have these beliefs, I'm bad, I'm naughty, I've done something wrong, must be my fault. What are you going to be creating for yourself? You know, you're not going to be creating a life of ease and peace, are you? And abundance? Nope. You're going to be creating a hard time for yourself. You're going to be self-sabotaging yourself. You're going to be creating a life of hardship. Now also, when we have feel an emotion over and over again, or feel it strongly, it can become stuck emotional energy in our body and in our energy field. And when they're stuck in our body and energy field, they will then influence how we respond to a situation. They will also can have an effect on our physical health. Let me give you an example of this. I've been a chiropractor for a long time, and sometimes I'd be working down somebody's spine and come to a vertebra I couldn't shift. So I learned a technique to release the emotion that had caused the vertebra to go out in the first place. And literally 2 or 3 seconds later, the vertebra pinged back into place by itself. I didn't even have to adjust it. Okay, this happened lots of times. It wasn't a one-off. So this emotional energy in our body can create health problems as well. You know, if you're constantly berating yourself and hard on yourself, you might create a problem in your body, such as an autoimmune disease, because autoimmune disease is the body attacking itself. That's just an example there. So what are the symptoms that you have guilt and shame? You might have a lot of trouble forgiving yourself. You might be doing this a lot of self-blame, self-criticism, a lot of self-sabotage. You might be secretive. You might tell a lot of lies to try and keep your secrets safe. You might push love away. If you have a belief you're not lovable, you'll push love away because you don't believe you're worthy and deserving of being loved. You might have martyrdom consciousness, which is where you're always putting somebody else's needs before your own. You might be a bit of a doormat. Do people step all over you? Just ignore you? Do you feel significant enough? You might have suicidal tendencies, depression, perfectionism. Perfectionism is, I have this fear of rejection, so I'm going to be as perfect as I can so people are less likely to reject me. I'm going to keep my house as perfect as I can so people are less likely to judge me and reject me. So these two emotions, there's something that you really don't want to hold on to. Now, although they are slightly different, sometimes they get a bit mixed up. So guilt is, I have done something wrong. Shame is, there's something wrong with me or I'm flawed in some way. But the treatment of these emotions is the same. So first of all, forgive yourself. That's like one of the most important things you can do to yourself. It's a huge gift you can give yourself. And there's a talk on my Facebook page about forgiveness, forgiving others and forgiving yourself. You may want to forgive your body. If something you're ashamed about in your body, maybe you have a big lump or some scarring or like some coloring or something that you feel ashamed about, you need to send forgiveness to your body. And this may sound very strange, but if you have done something wrong, you need to send forgiveness to that part of your body. So say you verbally abused somebody, you would need to send forgiveness to your throat and mouth. If you smacked somebody, you need to send forgiveness to your arm and hand. If you were sexually abused, you will need to send forgiveness to your genital area. And this is because whatever part of us we don't deem as acceptable, or a part of us that we use to harm somebody or something, that is where we are likely to store the shame and guilt. And the emotion of forgiveness, it will start to transmute these energies, and transmute means to turn it into something of a higher vibrational frequency. So send love as well, sending love and forgiveness to parts of your body. Now you can do this in several different ways. You can imagine the top of your head opening up and pull in love and forgiveness that way. You can breathe it in, imagine it. Can you feel it outside of you and breathe it into all parts of your body, and especially to the parts that you need to. Another way you can do is imagine stepping into a lift or whirlpool inside your mind. Take that lift or whirlpool down into your heart center in the middle of your chest, and from that area send love and forgiveness to parts of your body. Awareness is key. So for a few weeks, walk around with a notebook in your pocket, because you can't change something if you're not aware of what needs to be changed. And what happens is, if we're not aware, we just have these random thoughts, and we have the same ones, we can have the same kind of thoughts over and over again, and we're just not aware of how damaging they are. So for a few weeks, carry around a notebook, and what you're going to do is take a note of how you talk to yourself, how you judge yourself. Are you always being mean to yourself? Are you always being hard on yourself? Listen to your thought patterns. Do you often think thoughts based on I'm not good enough, or I can never do that, or I'm not smart enough? Those kind of thoughts. How do you feel? What are you constantly feeling? What triggers off what emotion? Which event or thought or memory triggers off what emotion? And then you're going to use this knowledge to try and work out your belief system, because a lot of your beliefs you don't know about, and you can work them out based on your thoughts and your feelings. And then obviously you need to change your thoughts and feelings and beliefs. So the way to change your belief is to bring in a new empowering one, and to read it and write it and sing it and say it and hear it as many times a day as you can. So put it on post-it notes, make a song about it, write it down, set it as a screensaver, set it as a reminder on your phone, say it over and over again, that kind of thing. To change a thought. So if you have a thought that's not empowering, or an image you see that's not empowering, an image that you are imagining rather than seeing with your eyes, you can say, God, please cancel that thought and please stop that pathway. Now that pathway is referring to, if we have a thought and an emotion, it creates a neural pathway in our brain. If we have the same thought and the same emotion, the neural pathway becomes much stronger. And then our brain conserves energy, so your brain will push you to using the same neural pathways you already have. So that is why you will always have, well, not always, but often have the same response to the same kind of thought, because it has become a habit, a habitual response, because your brain is pushing you that way. Okay, so think about your thoughts. If you have a thought, it's not empowering, cancel it and bring in a new empowering thought. When you have the feelings, it is a great way to clear this stuck emotional energy. That's the best time to clear it. So first of all, just sit with it, try and take a step back. What is this emotion trying to tell me? Then you're going to use it later on to work out your belief system, but see, what is it trying to tell me? Okay, now you know from what I've said that these emotions aren't real. So you're just going to simply say, this emotion of whatever it is, I feel it, I honor it, I let it go with love. It's not me and it's not mine. Angels, please take it away. And the angelic realm will come and help you clear this stuck emotional energy and clear what you're feeling. Know that you have always done the best based on your conditioning, which is the way you're brought up, based on your knowledge and wisdom, and based on your belief system. Everybody has, no matter what they've done, has always done the best based on those three things. So, if you're giving yourself a hard time, just keep coming back to this, I've always done the best I could. I've always done the best I could. And know that everything is a stepping stone to get you to where you are now. And where you are now is a place you can start anew from. Okay, every minute is a chance to start anew. So, everything you have experienced is a stepping stone to get you to where you are now. Know that you are the divine being inside the body, and you chose your big challenging experiences before you incarnated on earth to give you the best chance to learn, to grow and to heal, and to wake up and to understand that what's going on with your body and your ego. So if you're feeling guilty or feeling ashamed about something, know that you chose it before you incarnated. You had a soul contract to go through it, so your soul would be urging you to do it. And know that the other smaller things you're going through, you're creating as you're going along based on your belief system. as I said, 95% is based on created by your subconscious mind. And when we have an experience, we tend to judge it as a good or a bad one. But try changing that. So instead of judging it as good or bad, see it as challenging or painful or easy. Don't judge it as good, because when we're judging it as good as bad, we are then creating lots of judgments about it and judging ourselves about it. Shame, especially shame, both shame and guilt, love secrecy, especially shame. So depending on, let's take guilt first of all. Depending on what you've done, you might be able to tell people or you might not. Shame really loves you really, the best way to do release shame is to tell people about it. So try and find people that are empathic, that won't tell you your secret, and they're not going to judge you. And try and tell them everything that happened to you. And then you're giving this signal to your body, actually, body, I'm not ashamed of you anymore, or I don't feel guilty about this anymore because I'm telling people. If you haven't got friends, you can tell, or family, you can tell. Maybe you can see a therapist. If you haven't got a therapist or you can't tell friends, write your story down, because that will start to release it. Write it down a few times. But one of the best ways you can do this, even if you are telling people, I would also use this technique, is you're just going to sit there with your eyes shut. And you are going to imagine a family member or a friend in front of you. And you are going to tell them your whole story. Now, don't leave anything out, because nobody's going to hear it, okay? Your body is believing everything that it is hearing and seeing. You're imagining this person as true. So just to give you an example, if you don't believe me, imagine at this point now you're sucking on half a lemon. Feel the juices, feel the sourness. And what will happen is you will start to salivate, because your body believes you're sucking half a lemon and it's trying to protect your tooth enamel. You can imagine, or you can go and get a piece of food, put it in your hand, shut your eyes, then imagine that piece of food crawling with maggots or full of mold. See blue and green and black mold on it. And with your eyes shut, then can you put it in your mouth? No, I don't think so. Your body's going to be really repulsed and think, I don't want that in me. So your body believes everything you are imagining as true. So you're going to tell these imaginary people your whole story, and your body thinks, okay, there's nothing to be ashamed about or guilty about, because she's telling the secret. And then, or he, and then you're going to imagine them giving you really good feedback. You can go over the top about this if you like. You're still beautiful. I still think you're amazing. You're still perfect to me. They're going to give you some real positive feedback. And do this over and over again. It really is one of the best ways to start to release the guilt and shame. No, and we did talk about this, that these feelings, they're not yours and they're not real. They are a construct of your ego mind. So when you're feeling them, keep repeating to yourself, this feeling of guilt or this feeling of shame, it's not mine and it's not real, okay? This is a construct of my ego mind. Keep telling yourself that over and over again, whichever emotion you're feeling. Be brave enough to be seen. So, as I said, your ego is trying to keep you small and stuck, because it thinks it's the best way to keep you safe. But try and get out there. Try and be seen. And know that this fear of, if you feel fear, it's coming from that fear of being judged, so that your body doesn't want to be rejected or abandoned. It's not coming from you. So try and go out there. Write a story and get it published in the paper or as a book, or try and do a speech or something, or do Facebook live video or something. Try and be seen. And try and be vulnerable to be loved. Okay, so if we have this belief we're not lovable, we will push love away. So try and lower your barriers, lower your heart walls, and allow love in. If there is something you feel ashamed about your body, maybe you have lumps, bumps, scars, some funny colouring, I don't know, whatever you're ashamed about in your body, try and get some massage. Okay, massage therapists are used to seeing all sorts of shapes and sizes, and they really won't mind. So again, you're giving this signal to your body, okay body, I'm not ashamed of you, I'm happy for people to see you. If you've been through some kind of abuse, make sure it's a gentle massage, okay? If your body's been hurt, it doesn't want a hard massage, but it would really appreciate a gentle one. Please note that there's no karma. Karma is a belief in a reward or punishment system. There is what is called the universal law of cause and effect, which means what you give out comes back to you, basically. Karma is a punishment and reward system by spirit, is not real. We buy into it, and then if we have something we need to punish ourselves with, we can store it as what's called karmic energy, but we actually have to know it's not real. No, there are no sins either. That was just something made up by the church, and it's in the Bible, but there are no sins. Earth is a learning school, and the way your soul learns is to experience everything, but we label these experiences as good or bad, but they're not. If you see every experience as neutral, then you're not going to think it's bad, okay? There are no sins, and there's no judgment by God or spirit, because you are God in human form, here to learn and grow, and you learn and grow through your experiences. So there's no judgment, okay? They love you unconditionally. Give yourself lots of self-praise. So, if you have 1 or 2 minutes a day, just keep telling yourself something like, you are worthy and deserving. You are beautiful as you are. You are enough. You are lovable. And you're safe to be here. You deserve to be here. You are worthy of being seen. You are gifted. You are talented. You are significant. You do matter. That kind of thing. And that works really well. What I wouldn't do is do something that you're judging yourself against another person. So try avoid you are special and you are important, because they are then going to create feelings of pride and putting yourself above somebody else. But just to say that you are enough, you are beautiful, etc., is great. Do some work with your inner child. Now, your inner child is that part of you that feels afraid and vulnerable. So if something happened to you as an adult, you imagine yourself standing in front of you. As a child, you can imagine them sitting on your lap. But if it's something you don't know about, picture yourself aged around 7, sitting on your lap, and you're going to give them so much comfort. You can rub their back and stroke their hair and tell them that they are safe, okay? They really need reassurance that they're safe, they're not going to be rejected, no one's going to leave them, no one's going to abandon them. They're safe because you've grown up now and you can look after yourself. They are worthy and deserving, that you love them as they are enough, they are lovable, they do matter, those kind of things. And eventually what you tell your inner child, it actually comes back to you as small talk. So instead of your small talk being negative, this kind of talk is actually going to come back to you. So it really works well. You can ask the angelic realm at night to put the energies through you and around you to clear the stuck emotional energy away. Now, you might feel some warmth tingling, you might not feel anything at all. Sometimes you can feel like your bits of your body or your arm or your leg give a little jolt. And that is just like you're having a dream and you walk down some steps and you miss a step. It's exactly the same. That is actually stuck emotional energy leaving your body. So you might experience a wee bit of that. Spend some time loving your body. Maybe first thing in the morning or last thing at night, just give your arms a rub or give yourself a big hug. I love you, body, and thank you for looking after me, body. I'm really grateful for you. Thank you, body. I love you. Okay, and your body's really going to appreciate it. Even if you don't like the way you look, still love your body for being your vessel, for being your temple, for carrying you around. Because without it, you'd be a ghost. That wouldn't be much fun, would it? So, doesn't matter if you don't love the way you look, just love your body and appreciate it for looking after you, basically for housing you. Another thing you can do is intend and choose consciously. So as I've said, you only consciously are choosing 5%. How about you choose a little bit more? All you need to say is, with the power of God that I am, I intend to choose and pray to let go of the struggle and have ease. With the power of God that I am, I intend to choose and pray to know myself as fearless. Anything that you want to bring in, intend, choose and pray for it. Now, you need to just keep repeating it over and over again. Once is not enough, so keep saying it. And what you'll find is things that are contradictory to that, they will come up for you to deal with them and release it. And then eventually you will create what it is you are intending and choosing. Knowing your divinity. We've already talked about that, but as I said, there's a thing on there is a talk on my Facebook page about that, and I believe on my YouTube channel too. So knowing your divinity will really help set you free. You can use what's called a mind clearing technique. Now, if you imagine yourself bigger than your body, you're going to look down on your mind, and you are going to send love and compassion to your mind, and then you're going to say to your mind, please release the fear of, or the resentment of, or the anger of, or the guilt or the shame, whatever it is you want to release. Please release that. And then you can also say to your mind, please release the belief of, because your mind will release it if it feels safe. So you need to come at it with this gentleness, this tenderness, and this compassion, and then it will start to release it. And you can also say, I command this mind, okay? Because you as a divine being, you are in charge, but we are being manipulated and being controlled by our minds, but we actually need to start to take charge. So you can actually say, I command this mind, but as long as you say it in a loving, gentle manner. Okay, we are going to do what's called crisis unwinding technique now. This is a technique I developed with Yeshua, Jesus, a few years ago, and what it does is help clear the suck emotional energy from your body, and it also helps bring in some empowering beliefs. So if you just sit somewhere quietly, shut your eyes, have your arms and legs uncrossed, and then all you're going to do is simply say, I call upon the Christ light to help me. It doesn't matter what religion you are or whether you're an atheist, the Christ light is source energy, and it's going to help you whatever. And then what you're going to do is you're going to imagine some writing on the inside of your forehead. So you're going to read it with your eyes shut, as though it was on the inside of your forehead. Now, it doesn't matter about your spelling, okay? It's just your intention that matters. But it does make a difference if you can see it and read it as opposed to just imagine it. So if you're finding it really hard to see your writing, then just keep telling your mind, okay, mind, it is safe for me to see my writing. It is safe for me to read these sentences. Because if your mind is perceiving it as unsafe, then you'll find it really hard, and you'll just have to imagine them. Now, that does work better than nothing, so if that's what you've got, then just work with that. Okay, so with your eyes shut, you are going to read the following sentences. I am a sovereign being. Sovereign just means you're powerful. You're a powerful being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. Then you're going to see those sentences. They're going to pop up and go into your mind, into your brain, and you're going to see them weaving around and around, left and right, up and down, around and around your brain. Just keep reading them as they're going or saying it in your head. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. And then what you're going to do, you're going to see that sentence start to spiral down through your head, down through your throat, down the center of your chest, reading your sentences. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. Seeing your sentences going down through your belly, the center of your belly, down the center of your pelvis. And then they're going to spiral out from the gap between your legs. So just imagine them spiraling out between the gap in your legs, and then they can go into the ground or go into the distance, whatever you prefer. Then again, just keep your eyes shut. You're just going to read your sentences again. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. And this time you're going to see your sentence going up your left hand, up your left arm, over your left elbow, upper arm, over your left shoulder, and then they're going to spiral right across your right shoulder. And when they've reached your right shoulder, they're going to spiral back across to your left one. That's just because we store a lot of stuff in our shoulders, so we're just giving them a little bit more attention. When they've reached your left shoulder, then you just spiral your sentences down the left side of your chest, reading them as they're going. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. See them going down the left side of your belly. The left side of your pelvis, down your left thigh, reading your sentences. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. See them going over your knee, down your calf. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. And then see them going over your left ankle, over your left foot, and then spiraling off into the distance or into the ground. Then again, reading your sentences, just repeat the process. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. Seeing your sentences this time going up your right hand, up your right arm, over your right elbow, up your right upper arm, and then when they reach your right shoulder, they go across to your left one. Then when you've reached your left shoulder, back across to your right shoulder. Down the right side of your chest, reading your sentences. I am a sovereign being. I claim my divinity. I claim my freedom. You can claim your divinity as well if you like. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. See them spiraling down the right side of your belly. The right side of your pelvis. Over your right thigh, I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. Over your right knee, down your right calf. I am enough, lovable and divinely perfect, just as I am. Over your right ankle, over your right foot. And see them spiraling off into the distance or into the ground. Then just read your sentences again with your eyes shut. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, and divinely perfect, just as I am. And this time see your sentence going outwards, and you're just going to ask for it to be sent across all time and space, all universes and all dimensions. And then lastly, we just finish off by seeing them go across your chest. So imagine beautiful white or gold letters, these sentences going across your chest. I am a sovereign being. I claim my freedom. I am enough, lovable, divinely perfect, just as I am. And then we just finish off by thanking the Christ light. Now, this works well if you do this technique. Try for at least a few times a week. You can do it more than once a day if you like, if you have time. It works well if you can bring in other sentences too, rather than just use the same ones. So if you want to bring in your own sentences, maybe you have a belief you know about you want to rewrite. Use your sentence, but say it in the positive and in the present tense. So you would say, I am worthy, rather than I am becoming worthy, or I'm not unworthy. Okay, you're going to say it in the positive and in the present tense. Now, I just have a few other ideas for you to use. Everything happens for a reason. I am forgiveness. I accept and approve of myself. It is safe for me to return to love. I am a divine being, God in human form. I am worthy and deserving of inner peace. I am worthy and deserving of love, joy, ease, peace, and abundance. It is my birthright to have love, joy, ease, peace, and abundance. I am worthy and deserving of having full health and vitality. I cultivate self-love, self-compassion, and self-forgiveness. I choose liberation and freedom. It is safe for me to forgive. I am worthy and deserving of forgiveness and forgiving. It is safe for me to be here and to be seen. Well, I hope that helped, and please make the effort, because you will find your life does improve as you clear this energy and clear away your limiting beliefs. Okay, much love, many blessings from my heart to yours.